far you've been with him.
Sorry. My son was in Mr Williams's care, and nobody's asked him the questions of whether he was taken to the toilet on his own, or the children haven't actually been asked. You do the Friday morning open sessions, which I attended, and so I was in the class. And he was very good with the children. But he was in that position of trust. And unless we ask the children, did he take you to the toilet on your own, we don't actually know the questions.
Would he be?
And I'm wondering if that was done. How do I know my child wasn't at risk if nobody's asked him the question?
I mean, I think that there's a really difficult balance here for all of us to think about in terms of moving forward. I can go back and restate, as you just said, he presented as someone who was very good with children, he was very supportive and kind in class, and we had no reason to believe that anything happened in school that was untoward, that put someone at risk, or that anyone was harmed. We have no evidence of that whatsoever. The issue for us now, if we start to talk to young children, will they be able to understand the questions about what we're asking? Will that cause upset in itself? Are we actually going to traumatise our children? We as adults clearly are feeling really sore today. As the local authority, we're really upset today that this has happened as well. It's not something we feel betrayed as much as you do. These are our children too. We take that really, we really believe that. But we need to make sure that we protect our children through the rest of this process now as well. So we need to think very carefully about if we were to simply go in and ask whole classes of children, very young children, about
there were only 15 or 20 children in that classroom with him, and he was in charge of those children. Whether it was with other people that were helping him, they weren't helping him all the time, and he was, showing the children the way to the toilet and different things like that. There could be other crime that have taken place that we're not.
Sure. And one of the questions that's going through all of our minds, and I know it's being asked, is can we give anyone a guarantee that there was no wrongdoing, that it absolutely didn't happen? And I think the answer is going to be that I can't absolutely, with hand on heart, say that's absolutely the case. We have absolutely no evidence, though, no suggestion that anything untoward has happened in school. If we had any inkling whatsoever, then there's a process to be followed, and that would be followed with the police, social care, and other colleagues.
Shouldn't they find that out now then?
Was
Should you not be asking those questions now? If anything, if they were inappropriate touching or anything like that.
I come back to, at this point, there is no evidence whatsoever to suggest there's been any issue to do with
that's
that.
because the questions
But he's
pleaded
guilty to obviously those offences. It must go somewhere.
Remember, as part of the investigation into this, there has been a risk appraisal by the police and social care. Is there been any other risk to children? So my understanding is that wasn't even a feature of what he was being charged with, because there's been no evidence of that.
Yeah, there's no evidence if you haven't asked the question. If you can't have no evidence if you haven't asked the question. You have to ask the question.
Have the staff been asked then?
I think the difficulty is unfortunately, myself and Mr. McCusker we weren't involved in the direct investigation. We tried to get you some answers here today to try and put your minds at rest as best we can. The only way that potentially we can take forward any further answers is to perhaps